reading. Um, the reading I've written especially for this evening is entitled Friendship. If you're fortunate, you'll have that one best friend that has got your back through thick and thin, will move mountains to ensure your happiness, is there for you regardless of day or night, nurtures you and sees when you're feeling down. This is also the person that will tell you who is good for you, the right foods to eat, the exercise to get, build you up for all aspiration, to go for all aspirations, co-celebrate achievements and joys and wipe your tears when life is unkind. They will build you up, support you, and tell you to go get them, even when you feel like staying in bed. And if you're extra fortunate, your best friend looks at you when you gaze in the mirror. I'd like to hand over to Andy for Spiritualist philosophy this evening. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Nicola. Good evening, everybody. I must admit, it was interesting, as I said, that Nicola came up with friendship because there was something that has been on my mind, a memory recently. Of course, we've all lost friends, family, and of course hopefully that most of our family are friends as well. It's always helpful. Um, but it's lovely. The fact is that that when they go over, they don't forget us. They really don't, and we don't forget them. The memories are there, and we have those that we keep close to our hearts. It really is. And I know that, as I said, the friendships, are on many different levels with those that we have with us. There are those that we love, those that we respect, those people that we've worked with, those people that have come into our lives and then at times just moved on. But it did remind me, as I said, of a little story that I was told about somebody in my family. My uncle was a Down syndrome gentleman. Um, and if anybody knows the Down syndrome people, then they are very happy people. They really are. My uncle, when he was born, was my grandmother was told he wouldn't survive past the age of 10. But he lasted into his 60s. He really did. And they are, in essence, they are very childlike. They really are. And I know that children used to take to my uncle because he was very much like that. And he was also double jointed, so he could out move. I mean, talk about twist and shout. He loved that dancing and that sort of thing. It was brilliant. It really was to watch him. And the kids used to go out and join him because we used to go out on holiday and out with the family that he was with. And there was a time, obviously, that after my grandmother died, then he went to live with families that obviously knew how to care for people like himself. And he was in this family for some time. And unfortunately, it was about 15 years ago, my dad passed away. And my dad and obviously, his brother, who was Roy, the Down syndrome gentleman, we were very, very close, very close, and obviously, that my dad used to go out and they used to go out for days out and that sort of thing, so, there was a great friendship there. And there was discussion took place after my dad died about with my mum and that of whether to tell Roy and would he understand. And they didn't want to distress him in any way. That was the fact, that they just wanted him to be happy, and so it was actually decided that they wouldn't tell him. But the gentleman that obviously that was the head of the house where he lived told me this brilliant story. um, One night he was going past Roy's door and he could hear voices. He could hear Roy's voice talking to somebody. So I thought, well, that's a bit strange. So he stopped and listened. And he could hear Roy going, "Is that you, Chrissy?" And that's what I used to call my dad. "Is that right? You're all right then? Yeah. You got there all right then? Oh, that's brilliant. What's it like there?" And he heard Roy having a conversation with my dad who'd passed over. There was no way that Roy knew that my dad had passed over. But I think because of this beautiful childlike essence, then he has still had that beautiful connection. And it was so lovely, the fact that actually he wasn't disturbed in any way. He just took it as a natural thing. And he loved the fact that obviously my dad still loved him. There was still that deep friendship there that, he came back to make sure that Roy knew that he was fine. I'm going to say it's a beautiful thing that we have within our understanding. As I said, that, with the aspects of those that we've that have passed to the other world, their love, their friendship, their support is always there. Doesn't always mean they're right. They may think they're always right, but that we know they're not always right. Bless them. But it's brilliant because I have a lot of friends over there that come back and they help and support me. And I say they come back at times to talk about different things. And I always know that fact is that when my grandmother on my dad's side comes back through, was Roy's mother, I always know that I'm in trouble. There's something I'm not doing. She only ever turns up to give me a nice kick in a certain place to encourage me to go on. But she's meaningful. It's there. And at these times, as I said, that I always say that we also need to go through our bereavement, our dealing with this aspect when we lose somebody. I lost my partner several years ago, and I grieved. I missed her. I missed her friendship. I missed that. The one thing I miss most of all, I miss the physical hugs. I have to admit, spiritual hugs are nice, but they're not as good as physical ones. But bless that friendship, that desire to support me is continued. And it's, as I said, it's such a lovely thing that we have, that we know, that we can take to our hearts, and we know that they haven't left our hearts. And within it, as I said, that friendship will be ever continuous, as their life is, as our life will be when it comes to our time to go across. But until then, they encourage us to live our life to the full, to have our experiences, our adventures, to see what we can do and see what others can do for us as well, and what we can do for others. But bless you all. Just know, as I said, as you know, they love you. But continue to have the adventures, continue to have the fun, because that's what they would wish for all of us. And yes, they'll be keeping an eye on us, and I'm sure in the best possible way supporting us. So thank you, and God bless you all.